In these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Yo, girl, Jasmine Crockett, man. Once again, she's making headlines. Not the headlines I think that she wants to make. She's made some recent comments, and now she's trying to backtrack, as you'll see in the upcoming videos here. So without further ado, let's check out Yo Girl, Jasmine Crockett.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot mess, honey. So yes.
I hate to be the friend who's too woke right now.
Do it.
But I fear I must.
You
Jasmine
must.
Crockett is currently under fire for calling Greg Abbott Hot Wheels because, he's in a wheelchair type. Let me tell you why I don't agree with her joke. And to be honest, it's not even for the reason you might think. Is the joke ableist? Yes. Do I necessarily care that somebody was being ableist to somebody who is literally a bigot and is trying to strip away people's rights? Well, no. I think Jasmine specifically has taken her bleach, butch, blonde, built, whatever moment and is stretching it. And any chance she gets in front of a microphone, she is trying to have those sound bites. And I think at some point, it's really just performative. Dare I say.
Agreed.
And I'm not trying to down on this black woman politician who is probably doing everything she can when she's working to make sure that we have our rights. But I'm always call a spade a spade. And I know performativeness when I see it, sister, I do. Because what are you really doing? Other than egging on the bullshit that's going on with Congress. One thing I'm always going to say is I think that we don't need to be overly nice to these Republicans, right? I'm not sitting here trying to say we need to have respectability politics. I'm not saying that we need to, just be buddy-buddy with them and be like, oh, we're just going to turn the other cheek. We just need to be the bigger people. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you getting on the podium and insulting things that they cannot help about themselves isn't doing anything.
Well, that's y'all girl, man, Jasmine Crockett. I think that she's digging herself into a much, much bigger hole. I believe that this strategy is backfiring and is playing right into the Republican hands. Just let them sit here and bury themselves. And she's backtracking and she's getting a lot of heat for it. This is one of several things that she has said that by and large, most people do not agree with. Even her own party. And I think you're starting to see cracks in the Democratic Party, because what's going to happen is they'll champion her for a while, and then I think they're going to crucify her, man. I really believe that they will turn on her. I think her own party will turn on her. Her constituents that she's supposed to represent will turn on her. Wait and see. They're going to, in my opinion, they will use this, the moral high ground. I predict that her own Democratic Party will turn on her. They'll let her be loud. They'll let her be obnoxious. You'll have AOC that's going to try to run for president for the Democratic Party, at least be the leader of the Democratic Party. She'll start changing her tune a little bit. She'll fight, but she'll change her tune a little bit, and they'll start denouncing. They'll start speaking against and denouncing Jasmine Crockett. That's my prediction. So, but they clowning her in these, not only in these Texas streets, but they clowning her in these American streets, man. Let's take a look.
She's number one at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jazzy.
My dog's name is Jazzy. My dog's name is Jazzy.
Nice. Jasmine Crockett still conceals the meaning of Hot Wheels. The Texas Congresswoman still won't apologize over making fun of Texas Governor Abbott's disability. Here's what she said that kicked it off.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Poor taste. Whoa. Poor taste.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So,
Now she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2021. But is Jazz having an identity crisis? This is her now.
It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? Like, there is no niceties with him.
and to be clear, free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bull. We need to stop playing because that's what y'all are doing in here.
But wait, this was her before she went to D.C.
It's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
Tyrus! I come to you for no particular reason. Can you please explain to me what happened to that young, smart,
I'll take it from there, Gus.
Tyrus has a very interesting.
I'm going to explain to you what happened. Same thing that happened on this show.
Yes.
She got the job. That was the get the job voice. Remember when I first met you? Good evening, Gutfeld. It's
Yes.
nice to meet you. It's a real pleasure to be here. Oh, cool. Once I got the job, what it is, let's crack jokes. So that's all it is. That's all it is. You know, it's just you gotta to get the job. You know, you gotta leave the Negro at home and do the what it is afternoon, and then once you get in, you can say whatever you want to say. Listen, everyone talks different with their crew and their people. Everyone has a different way of talking when they're with other people or whatever. She's too comfortable, and she thinks she's clever when she does that. But here's the cold part: somebody's writing that for her.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why she had to remember and look back, because apparently Hot Wheels she thought was going to be someone thought it was a wonderful joke and it was going to do well. So she set it up, but she doesn't read good because she's like, and this, and then she said the Hot Wheels, and as soon as she said it, it didn't get the reaction that she thought it would. So then she paused again. So again, when you have people write, this is why when white people write black slang, weird happens.
Yeah.
And this is what happens.
Hilarious. So I look at it this way, because there's been all kind of reports that have come out about Jasmine Crockett that, you know, she was not from the hood, that she actually had a middle class life or better. So she was around money, went to private schools, stuff like that. I haven't dug into it myself. I'm just going off of other people's reporting of it. So. But I'll take it from from my personal experience. Okay, myself, my brothers, my family, we grew up in the hood. Okay, we grew up in government housing, very violent. The propensity for violence is crazy amongst black people, I believe, and I witnessed this and I seen it, and I partaken in it, in my youth. But I have family members that were also black, but they didn't grow up in the hood. They did not grow up in marginalized conditions. They didn't. They were middle class or better, had money, but they would try to act like how we acted in the hood. They would try to act like that because. I don't know. Maybe that was the identity that they wanted to have, or they felt like, okay, I wasn't black if I didn't act this way, which I think is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous now as I've gotten older. I didn't think that way when I was an impressionable kid. Just so we're clear. So you take a look at Jasmine Crockett. It might be that this is performative. Maybe. she's doing this because she thinks it connects with her constituents. I don't know, but there also could be a situation where she had family or has family that lives in the hood, man. That lives in poverty, and this is how we get down. I mean, right or wrong, it is what it is. So I think in her case, I think it's performative, and this is why.
You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was, but what I've always decided.
Now, I personally believe this is the real Jasmine Crockett. This is what I believe, man. I just think that when you have people who have resources, they have means to give you a better life. Her parents gave her private schooling, so she grew up around, probably grew up and went to school around more kids that had money, regardless. Maybe white kids, Latino kids, black kids, but the people that have money. And from my experience, parents who have those types of resources and connections, they don't want their kids acting what we call ghetto, uneducated. They want their kids to be a different example. So I have family members like this. I do. So let's continue.
Is that I would step up when there was a need. Listen, he up there, he's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't, you know. But when she called me and said, I think it's time for me to retire, and you're the one that I believe should take my seat, I really was kind of caught off guard. I didn't anticipate that. If anyone knows anything about the Congresswoman, they know. We showed up, and if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do, for sure. We got some cool shirts. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat. And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services and things like that. We got Madam Williams, who just happens to have the honorary seat. It's not even honorary because she's holding it down, y'all. But the legend himself, John Lewis, that is the seat in which she currently serves. So she honored his legacy. This is the message that she wanted to send.
Okay, once again, I think Jasmine Crockett is performative, and I think the young lady you see here who comes into politics, I think this is the real her. I think what you see now is someone who's performative, and she may have had relatives who grew up in the hood and who was like that, who was really about that life, right? So, and I speak from personal experience. I know of many family members and friends who were middle class or better, had money, had resources, great jobs, 2-income homes, man, you know, cars paid for on time, mortgage paid for on time, everything, no late bills, you know, and they were all about their education. They were all about, I am going to be educated when I speak, and I expect my children to be educated when they speak and talk a certain way and act a certain way and carry themselves a certain way. They wanted to be away from that hood type of mentality, that hood presentation. They didn't want it. And they wouldn't stand for their kids to be that way. Now, it almost sounds like I said, people have done their research on Jasmine Crockett. It almost sounds like she comes from that type of background. Parents gave her opportunities. And from my own personal experience, they wouldn't want her acting like the Jasmine Crockett that we're seeing now, ghetto-fied, ghetto-fabulous. But for whatever reason, she thinks that this is what's going to win. Democratic's approval rating is 20-something%, probably even lower than that as we speak. But let's get back to let's get back to what Titus was saying.
When white people write black slang, weird happens, and this is what happens. Well, like, if I wanted to get ethnic on somebody, I wouldn't call Joe and be like, "Hey, Joe, write me some hood."
Don't do it.
No offense, Tyrus. I get right to it. Gee Willikers, that's not the guy. What? That doesn't sound like Joe Mackey?
Listen, I can write you some hood. White people crazy. They pay taxes, stuff like that. Right? All right. Crazy ass crackers going to the movies and not talking. See, here's showing up on time.
Did you work for? Were you on the Def Jam comedy?
I've done every urban. You can only hold the white man down so long. I was the first white comic on Def Jam.
Yeah.
It was on for 5 years, then I went on, and so.
Were you the token?
What's that?
Were you the token?
I hate myself. I was so This was 25 years ago. And, if I went on now, I would just sit down and talk. I walked out like, I'm like, like, and I looked back at it. I mean, I did grow up in an all-black neighborhood in Princeton. And no, in Plainfield.
Yeah.
I grew up in a black neighborhood. But I pandered when I was on the show. But I did all the urban shows, BET, the Apollo, all of them, Hey, it is what it is, bro.
Kennedy, how long is she going to keep this thing that she wasn't talking about,
like
the
Jasmine.
wheelchair?
Doing what she has to do.
Come on, babe, you're full of and all that, Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like, you guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be? And Jasmine raised her hand and goes, excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive.
What it is, Mama.
My mama didn't raise no dummy.
Brooke, could she be the new face of the Democrat Party?
Unfortunately, she is. It's so sad that this is what plays. And at what point does jive, so to speak, really become irresponsible incitement to violence? Why is she getting away with saying you could punch opponents, or Ted Cruz needs to be knocked in the head, or all I want for my birthday is to take Elon down? This is quite dangerous rhetoric from an elected official. I think Pam Bondi was absolutely right when she told her to watch it, because we are seeing people go out on the street, vandalize and destroy Tesla's, other Americans' property, because they have a different political opinion than Elon Musk. And what we're
An American company, I might add, Tesla, an American company that produces American products and that employs Americans, and those Americans take care of their American families. This is who you guys are firebombing and protesting against, because of foolishness and because of foolish people like Jasmine. Crock of shit.
Doing, and what the Democratic Party has done, and basically what their platform is normalizing hatred and normalizing violence against someone because you disagree with their political opinion. And she's basically the poster child for that right now.
Well, that is an amazing transition to the story that we will be covering next.
Yeah, man, they really clowning her, man. They dragging her right now. Jasmine Crockett does some backpedaling here, as we'll see in this next video. So she can't. She likes to play this take no ish from anybody bravado. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. I'm gonna do this and whatever. But she backpedaling right now, so she can't even take accountability, which I think that's a problem with my personal opinion. A lot of women in this world, man, no accountability. Set them up this way. There's never their fault. So right now, you got Jasmine Crockett kind of leaning into my thesis of the American woman. Not all, but there is a lot of them, and y'all know there's a lot of them that won't take any accountability for nothing. They've did nothing wrong because they've been babied, and they've been always taught that it's the man's fault. Man, the meals, it's the meal's fault. So let's take a look, man. This your girl, Jasmine Crockett shit.
House Republicans threatening to censure Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett after she made this comment about Governor Greg Abbott. Listen.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Trash.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot mess, honey.
Trash.
Wow. Abbott has been in a wheelchair for over 40 years after a large tree fell and crushed his back while he was jogging. So let's make fun of that, shall we, Jasmine Crockett? She posted on X after getting backlash, not really backing down. She kind of doubled down. I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by black mayors. I'm even more appalled at the very people who unequivocally support Trump, a man known for racially insensitive nicknames and mocking those with disabilities, are now outraged. Wow. Gen Z political commentator Morgan McMichael joins me now. Morgan, what does it say that this, Jasmine Crockett, is one of the leaders of the Democratic Party right now?
Good morning, Todd. You know, when I'm looking at this story of Jasmine Crockett, I think it's funny how she's speaking at a human rights campaign, and it's just distasteful. You know, I don't think she really cares that the rhetoric that she is spewing is hateful towards Republicans at all. And to be honest, I want to give an example here. When you look at AOC, she's made an entire career, become famous and wealthy off of running her mouth. And I think that Jasmine Crockett's entire persona is made up, and she's trying to do the same thing and follow in those footsteps, run her mouth, make crazy, blatantly disrespectful and disingenuous remarks about Republicans, and she ends up getting the clicks because no one really heard of Jasmine Crockett 12 months ago, yet now she is making the headlines for saying such insane things. And you know, she's not new to inciting violence. She continues to do this, talking about Republicans. She made remarks about Ted Cruz, and to me, it's like, as a sitting representative, how can you go out there and talk about your constituents in such a negative way and say that you are all for uplifting everybody, you want positivity in this world, yet you are the reason for inciting violence to a lot of Republicans? You know, it's just very distasteful, and I just see a lot of hypocrisy coming from her and the entire Democratic Party.
I mean, look, it is great for clicks, no doubt, but it is a disaster when it comes to helping the Democratic Party. You look what AOC did. Yeah, AOC had a good election, but you know, they lost the presidency in 2024 in large part to this lurch left from the Democrats that the American people didn't want. Here is how Governor Abbott responded. Take a listen.
All right.
The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate. And Americans are not buying it. It's one reason why Texas is going to remain red and why Republicans are going to continue to win elections across the country. Republican states like Texas are leading the way, and with comments like this by Democrats, we will just leave them in the dust in future elections.
Yeah, I think he's right there, Morgan. What do you say?
Real quick, I think this is the wrong strategy for the Democrats. You guys gonna continue to do what you do, but there's a reason why your poll numbers are way down in 20s. I think it's gonna go lower. There's a reason why there's so much backlash for Jasmine Crockett, because the American citizens have voted, and we're tired of this performative mess. We have a president now with a cabinet that's actually doing something. They are actually doing something, and you guys can't even be honest. You're disingenuous when you say all these negative things about Donald Trump. A lot of these things that Donald Trump is doing, I would say you Democrats agree with it silently, in your private and in silence. You agree with it. A lot of these things that President Trump is doing, I know you do, but you can't say it because for whatever reason you think that it's a bad strategy to actually applaud and praise the president for actually being presidential and doing something for America and putting America first. We have a president now that's putting America first, and you're right now you're supporting someone like this who's a loudmouth, and no matter what, just will fight back against anything Republican and fight back against anything Donald Trump. Well, eventually you will turn on her. You are going to make Jasmine Crockett the scapegoat in order to get back into good graces with the American public. I see it already. I can see it already. Jasmine Crockett, they are hyping you up right now, but they won't. And I'm talking about your Democratic Party. When the time is right, they're going to throw you under the bus and denounce everything you're about and and your ghetto ass politics.
I think Governor Abbott is exactly correct that she'll probably be primaried out in the next election. She has no room in Texas to continue in touting her rhetoric that she does. And Texas is going to continue on. Greg Abbott has been an incredible governor for years in the state of Texas, and we are going to continue to push forward. I know the Trump agenda within the state of Texas. We've been seeing that border close down. And Jasmine Crockett's remarks, honestly, I don't think hold any weight within the state of Texas or even federally. I think it's honestly for attention, and no, she doesn't care about the disaster of the Democratic Party that she is continuing to push.
Yeah, that's an important clarification. It's not like with comments like that and with an overall personality and approach to politics that she has, that she's going to win statewide office in the red state of Texas. Not going to happen. But not to be outdone, Morgan, let's take a listen to California Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
If he wants to start looking so closely to find those who were born here and their parents were undocumented, maybe he ought to first look at Melania.
I mean, that comment demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of immigration, specifically Trump's approach to deportation, considering that Melania became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 2006, Morgan.
Right. I think this is one of the examples of, Democrats lost the election, so they're going to have as many low blows to Republicans as possible.
Thanks.
So now you see Maxine Waters standing in front of a big crowd saying that we need to deport Melania Trump is blasphemous behavior coming from the left. And this isn't anything new. They're going to continue to hit those low blows as many times as they can. I think we can't let this phase us as a party, as a people, and just continue to try and spill the truth. The Democrats.
Yeah, we done with Maxine Waters. She cooked. Maxine Waters look crazy. Every time I see her, man, she look crazy. She look and sound crazy. But Jasmine Crockett shit, as you can see, she's out here saying whatever she thinks is going to get clicks, whatever she thinks is going to make headlines, and it is. But she's getting some unwanted attention. I think this is going to be a situation where she gets voted out. Wait and see. I think she's going to get voted out. I believe that her Democratic Party is going to abandon her. I think they will denounce her. I think they're going to use that. I think they're going to use her as a pawn, chess move. Say, listen, we don't identify with that, and we don't align with what Jasmine Crockett is saying. Watch you see, man. She's going to get voted out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Jasmine Crockett shit. She's just full of shit. Jasmine Crockett shit.